Welcome to PressHER, the podcast that brings the real, the rough, the good, and the bad, but it's overall a safe space. And I'm your host, Big Neek, not little. And this is our first episode. And to me, it holds weight. Not only because I will begin to tell my truth, but because it's a journey that I want everybody to go on with me. The title is Why I Cut Out. Who don't want the real? Who don't want to hear my truth about why I cut my hair? Because if you know me, then you know I kept my hair done. Whether it was braids, a weave, a ponytail, quick weave, whatever. My natural hair, whatever it was, I kept it done. So to go from hair one day to no hair the next day, I'm pretty sure people was curious. And a lot of times, we don't really ask the questions that we really want to know. Which is what makes situations be more complicated. Well, first of all, not having hair really does something to a person's mental when they do a drastic change. Now, don't get me wrong, a big chop is not the same as going bald. You have hair all day one day, and then before you go to bed, you cut your hair off. You wake up to not having no hair completely, like it's gone, coming back unless you grow it back, and then, your hair might not grow back as fast. But anyways, it's been a journey, and I'm glad I did what I did when I did. It taught me so much. I feel free. I think the biggest lesson that I've learned is that hair don't make you. You make the hair. And that's something, having a young daughter, I had to really explain to her from little. I think she was about maybe 5 when I cut my hair. And from the time that I woke up in the morning to maybe I would say 6 months to a year after I cut it, I had to look at myself in the mirror and really say my own affirmations to boost my own self-esteem. But to rewind and give y'all a little bit of history, when I was a kid, I got perms, I got presses, I got them little micro braids. So growing up, I really didn't have no edges. I didn't have no hair on the side. And nowadays, all you see is people doing a little because my daughter do it. But I always had something done to my hair, not knowing that it was really damaging it. So going through life, continuously getting braids and not properly taking care of your hair, it really does damage to it. And once I had my daughter, I still was trying to maintain that mentality of I had to keep my hair done. I had to get my hair done. I had to, just keep it up, keep it done. Not saying that I wasn't taking care of it or anything like that, but it was an image that I had to maintain, basically. And it one day I was just like, I want to cut my hair. And I was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, to the point where I started getting little short hairstyles, doing photo shoots with short hairstyles. Like, oh, okay, you know, I think I got the face for it or whatever. Okay, yeah, I can do all of these hair shows, get all of these short hairstyles, but is that really what I want to do? I'm just going back and forth, going back and forth, going back and forth. And I remember I was talking to my daughter's father, and he told me at a time in my life where I was going through God knows what, I would never date a woman that wear wigs. Blew my top back because I wasn't expecting it. However, he said what he said. It did what it did. Because one thing I am going to tell you is words stick. You know that saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt. They might not hurt, but they could, and they will stick. I held that statement with me for the longest time, and never did he apologize, never did he bring it back up. He said what he said, and you know, later on down the line into our relationship, I started wearing wigs. I didn't really go to the doctor, but the reason why I started wearing wigs is because my hair started to thin. And I wasn't really sure like what was going on at the time. So then, to fast forward, I ended up having my daughter, and you know, after you have a kid, they always say you lose hair after the baby or whatever. So I'm like, okay, maybe my hair loss is from having a kid. So I went to this hair specialist, and the whole nine. It was like $200 an appointment that I really didn't have at the time, so I had to stop going there. I thought I was seeing progress, but then again, it wasn't really progress like that. And it was just a lot going on in my life. I didn't cut my hair right away, but I tried to work with people or find people that could strategically do my hair and hide the spots and stuff. It got to the point where my spot went from this big to this big, and it wasn't just one, it was two. And then on top of that, my hair on the sides. Now granted, I could have went to the doctor or, you know, tried to figure out what was going on, but I didn't. I thought it was stress, you know, a whole bunch of different things that I thought it was, and I wasn't even the doctor that could have told me what it was. Fast forward, I met somebody, and they really changed my outlook on hair. They embraced the beauty and the lack thereof, the encouragement, the motivation, the actual movement, the cutting of the hair was just like, wow. So no, I will not take full credit for where I am with the understanding of my hair journey. I owe a big part to the person that helped me through it. But when I did cut it, I swear it was like the best feeling, but the worst feeling at the same time. I'll never forget that night. I got off work and I was sitting in a chair. I didn't even get to say, oh no, or wait a minute. It was just like, yeah. And the piece of the hair fell in my lap. And I said, wow. About 5 minutes later, it was a wrap. I didn't have no hair on my head, but the little stubble. And right now, to this day, I hate the stubble. It was a struggle. The first day, woke up in the morning, my daughter said, "Oh, mommy, what's wrong?" I said, "Nothing. Mama just wanted to cut her hair off." I had to get on her level, like really stoop down to her and tell her, hair don't make you. You make the hair. You don't have to be beautiful only with hair. She was 5 years old. And here I am, just cut my hair off, trying to tell a 5-year-old that you don't need no hair. We about to walk out the door to go to school, and that girl looked up at me and said, "So you not gonna put your wig on?" I said, "You know what? I'm gonna put the wig on." So I goes to put the wig on. I done wore the wig outside, so I'm thinking in my head that I gotta wear the wig for the rest of the day. Wrong decision to make, okay? I wore the wig to work, and that was the last miserable day that I told myself I would have with hair on my head, period. It was hot. My head was just going through the motions, and I was like, no. But I kept saying to myself, you can't come to work with a head full of hair and leave with none. So I couldn't wait to get in the car. Because soon as I got in the car, I snatched that wig off and threw it to the side. I just rubbed my head. I was like, oh, that feels so good. And it was the best feeling ever. I looked at that wig. I said, I ain't never wearing you again. And I meant it. I went home, jumped in the shower. I don't know what it was, but I was afraid to put my head in the water. Like, for real. Like, I'm like sitting in the shower, like, trying to not to let it run in my face, I guess. I don't know. But baby, when I did, that's a whole nother episode, for real. But so I get home. I was gifted some shaving cream and some razors that I still use right now today. I try not to switch up on things because my head is very sensitive. My skin is sensitive, actually. And I just, want it to be as clean as possible. So the next day I wake up, take my daughter to school, and I really explained to her, Mommy not wearing a hat today. Mommy not wearing a wig today. I'm not doing it. And she kind of looked at me, and I'm like, I don't need hair to be beautiful. I don't need hair to be confident. So as I'm saying the affirmations to her, I'm really saying it to myself. So as we walking out the door, she says, I just don't want the kids in my school to talk about you. I said, baby, Mommy not worried about them kids talking about me. You shouldn't either. Okay. So here we are on our way to school. She keep looking at me. We get in the car. She's still looking. She's trying to figure out, how am I going to get through this day? We get to the school, and all you see is everybody's head like whoosh. Their eyeballs, everything, just looking at us. We stand at the gates of her school. She grabbed my hand. I grab hers tighter, and we walk in there with our heads held high. And when I say to be here today and to be able to talk about it, it brings so much joy to my heart. And emotions, like it filled me up. It filled me up. Because in that moment, I showed her how to be confident at 5. Now, we do have lessons that we teach our kids from babies on up until they're 5 and beyond. But that moment, that I felt like that was the best thing that I taught her, was to have confidence. And whatever you wear, however you put it on, like put it on. Put that shit on. I didn't tell her that, but put that shit on for real. And when I did that, I knew moving forward, I just had to go with it. It wasn't no looking back. Gave her a hug, and I left. I went to work, and it seemed like it was just yesterday because I walk in and I shocked the world. This lady literally stood next to me and was like, damn, girl, I ain't even know that was you. How you come in here with hair one day and the next none? Oh, and I just kind of brushed it off like, I did. So she said, you got a boy? You got a husband? I said, no. She said, you got a boyfriend? I said, no. She was like, well, you ain't gonna find one now, and walked away. I kid you not, that broke my entire soul. I hadn't even started work yet. So imagine having to ride or drive the bus with those thoughts going through your head. Like, I ain't gonna have no boyfriend. That mean I ain't gonna have no husband. Damn. What did I just do? That really crushed my spirit after being brought up or filled with so much joy. To feel like that, you could have kissed not having no hair out the window. I made a phone call, and it seemed like from that day forward, all the love just started to be poured in. But not only from a particular person, from myself, because it started with me. Faithfully, I woke up in the morning. No lashes, no lip gloss, no earrings. I felt like I looked like a straight man. I had to tell myself, you are beautiful. You are beautiful. You are pretty. You are strong. You are brave. You are free. Free of all of that shit that you went through, that you've been carrying along with you. Let people see you for who you are. If they can't accept this bare face, then they don't deserve you. That's what I had to tell myself. Nobody told me that. And I had to really believe it. I really had to leave a lot of shit with that hair that I cut off. Believe it or not. It hurt. It really hurt. And I'm not saying when I cut the hair off, things was left. I'm saying as time went, I had to cut you off. Not just you, but I had to cut things off and really get back to myself so I can raise this confident young girl that I had already instilled or demonstrated so much confidence in at 5 years old. I'll never forget that lady that told me that. Ever. Like, after I seen her, she would bring so much anxiety to my body that it was just like, yeah. It was real. And I don't even know if she know what she did. But if she ever watched this video, because this is my truth, if she ever watched this video, I just want her to know that you really hurt my feelings that day. But because of you and a lot of other people, I am who I am today. I'm stronger than I was that day, that second day that I cut my hair. Way stronger. No, I'm not sick. No, I'm not sick. I cut it to be free. I cut it to be me. I cut my hair to show my true beauty, my true self. Like, we get our hair done and we become like mannequins. For real. This is what you get. This is what you get. Now, yeah, I can take my lashes off, take my earrings off. I don't got no lip gloss on right now, but lips still popping. That's what you get. If I was a advocate, I'd probably be a let's be bald advocate. Like, it's liberating. Free yourself from all of the damage, the shame, the guilt, the hurt, the pain, everything. Like, I really feel like all of the stuff that I went through, it still come up. Don't get me wrong. It still come up, but I let it go. I left it there. I cut it out. I cut it out. And it made me who I am today. So yes, that's the truth, my truth about why I cut out. So if anybody was wondering, there you have it. First on PressHER. Because without pressure, there's no diamonds at all. So yeah, it took a lot for me to talk about it, but you know, it's my truth. And sometimes you can't start something without without exposing yourself first. But we're gonna stay tuned for another episode of PressHER, the podcast, with your host, Big Neek, not little. My gem for you today. You don't need hair to walk confidently. Because, baby, you are the hair. And I'm out.